This is the Easy on Me podcast. I'm Tiara.
I'm Oksana.
We all know that life be lifing.
Can't stop, won't stop.
We're just here to remind you to show yourselves a little bit of grace.
People always talk about going easy on them, but who's going to go easy on me?
Who's gonna go easy on me?
We done got all the way off topic.
No, it's okay, because that's what we do. We're gonna bring it back. I think it takes practice to not hold a grudge.
But is it holding a grudge when you just don't give a...
I guess not.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Easy on Me podcast. I'm Oksana.
I'm Tiara.
And this week we have two special guests.
Two special guests in the building.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
We have Jalen and Jamaur here. I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves and go ahead and give the people your handle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
great. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jalen, a.k.a. J2 Times. And I'm also the host of the Tea Time with Two Times podcast. And you can find me on Instagram at JAY2 TIMES. And you can find me on YouTube at that same one. And on TikTok, JAY.2.TIMES. So, yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamaur, or Ramaj as my social media handle is. I am the CEO and the host of Officially Off the Record, where we tell all black truths all the time, and you can find us at Officially OTR, and you can also find us on Cash App as well. Same handle.
I like that.
Same handle.
What's the cash out?
Hello.
$OTR officially.
Oh,
You can find us
yeah.
on
It's your boy Jay, just in case you're feeling a little generous. Baby.
And hey, listen, let's sew into these brothers.
Please, because that other check did not clear. Please.
Let's sew into them in their ministries, okay?
Hello.
Yes.
So let's get into our what it is and what it ain't for the week. So this segment is basically anything positive is the what it is, and the what it ain't is something that was negative and you could have went without that.
Ooh.
Okay?
Okay.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so what it is that I'm definitely excited to be in this season of meeting other black creatives, forming bonds with other black creatives, and building a community.
Yes.
And so that's definitely what it is. What it ain't, I ain't got no complaints, to be honest. Like, I'm just grateful to be where I am in life right now.
That's great.
I'm gonna start and echo what you just said. I don't have a what it ain't. I really try to be as positive as I can all the time.
Yeah.
My what it is what you said. I think just us not even knowing each other for a full week.
That's
When
crazy.
I say hit it off,
Being able
Yes.
to group chats is what makes black people black. So like we got a whole group chat. So I think my team and I, we've talked about this for like 3 years, like going on other people's shows, doing other things. And so I think for me, the stretch is what it is this week is like being here, growing my professional legs.
I love
yeah,
that.
What it is too. Like,
Yeah.
to be on your show Friday is definitely my what it is, because just to be a guest on someone else's show, you know, and like I just feel like we got kind of like the same energy.
Yes,
so it
y'all
just,
definitely
it just
do.
felt good, you know,
Indeed,
felt good to
indeed.
meet y'all. I just like, you know what I'm saying, like smiling.
So wait, we got the same energy and they got the same energy.
Right.
Yes!
Okay.
And that's what's
And
crazy.
then we done sat on the same side,
The same
82.
side.
Y'all, that's the
That's
crazy
okay.
side over there. We can get crazy if we need to.
Yeah.
That's us.
Well, we're gonna pray you down.
That's all right.
But that's my what it is. And the thing is, it's so easy to have a what it ain't. It's so easy to complain.
Yeah.
And so, like, I found myself, like, this past 2 weeks saying, like, I'm so busy, I'm so overwhelmed. But when I sit and think, it's like, I should be grateful that I'm busy.
That you have stuff.
That I have a career, that I have
Grateful.
something to do. I got something to do, something
Yeah.
that brings me joy. I just gotta, I don't know, stay positive. But definitely coming on your podcast on Friday was so inspirational. Just to see the whole studio set up, it's a beautiful set, and it was very inspiring. It kind of is showing us how far we can go. So thanks for having us.
Man,
I appreciate it.
networking.
But
Thank you.
I also want to give y'all your flowers too, right? Because even us being here in your setup and just the way that you have it, it's for me it's good to see other black creatives, like I look at, like I would have never moved to a studio if it wasn't for Jalen. And then, you know, like, and then I just even sitting here a few minutes ago, I'm thinking like, man, because I know like black male podcasts where they set everything and they do their thing, but like I've never been with black female creatives that are doing their thing. And so as I said before the show started, when you work your stuff from the ground up, you appreciate it more. You're doing all the work. And so when the big checks start coming, you don't lose that. You don't lose the common touch. You can walk with men, but don't lose the common touch. That's what I feel like this is.
Wow.
Start up.
Okay,
People
baby.
have been pouring into us lately, and it's just it's confirmation of what we've already prayed for. So to hear other people say it to us is just, it's amazing, and it warms my heart. But I ain't gonna cry on this camera.
It's okay. Also, I want to say that I love the fact that this, I ain't gonna tell you, I ain't gonna get a location, but I love the fact that this is the, like, where y'all are setting up, because I chose a studio because I don't feel like I would have been able to do all of this.
No.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny how like different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Like this, it looks fucking amazing. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all, because
It's okay. It's
okay,
real raw.
cool,
It's
cool.
real
Okay,
raw.
baby. Okay,
Real
cool.
raw.
This looks fucking amazing. Like,
Thank
I commend
you.
y'all for
Yeah.
even, and like for looking this stuff up, searching for this stuff, getting
Yeah.
these mics.
Yeah.
Yes.
People do not be doing that.
No.
And it's
Like-
like we kind of like balance each other out when
Yes.
it comes to. I mean, I'm learning. I had to learn how to set it up.
She
on
had
my
to
own.
learn.
You look good.
Cause I'm tired.
This is so good.
Yeah.
It's giving Best Buy Geek Squad. Like y'all.
Oh!
Y'all did
Yeah,
that.
we real life our own production team.
Yeah,
It's
so
fun. But we're,
Oksana's-
grateful for that.
As it
Yes.
should be. Like, this is-
Oksana's great with decor. So our set that y'all see, that's all her, bro. Amazing. And I'm more on the techie side,
Yeah.
so I kind of like research the lights and
So y'all literally balance each other.
Balance
we
each other out.
literally
Like real
balance
life.
each other out.
But you know,
Mhm.
I heard, and I was just telling someone this the other day, one of my favorite things back in the day about Destiny's Child, they would always say when there were 4 people, not a 4 people with Farrah, but a 4 people with the originals, they would always say, like, we carry our own luggage. We always say thank you to everyone. We
Yeah.
always open our own doors. Like, we do our own makeup. Like,
Mhm.
just when you really,
humble.
yes, it's the
Yes.
humility of it
Yeah.
all. Like, doing your own stuff allows you, and then you have more ownership of your
This
business.
is facts.
Right.
And you feel like more
Right.
protective
Yeah.
of your craft.
Right.
So
And as black creatives, it's very important that we own everything.
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 Seriously.
Not half of it, not no
Yes.
everything. We need
Yes.
to own everything, and I'm definitely learning that, walking in there. Me and you have that conversation all the time. Like, we need to own our stuff. So
Yeah.
I love the fact that y'all are owning this.
And to speak to that, that's why what we did in season 1,
Mhm.
we, like, my attorney was like, okay, so what we doing? I was like, it's a podcast. And she was like, no, that's not what we're doing. It's an LLC. And I was like, oh, okay.
And see, that's where, and that's
Right.
why I love this, because we're all at different levels of where we are in our journey, even different levels of where we shoot at, how we shoot, different levels of how we do business. So that's something I would love to get more information on, because we definitely want to expand, grow, LLC.
Period.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Everything.
Everything.
Because what
everything.
they're not telling you is you can use that number, that LLC number, and start using it for consulting.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk
Because
about
we
We're
got
gonna have to, hey,
because we got a check coming in September.
we
Okay.
gotta get it together.
one too.
Yeah.
Because I would love to consult some stuff.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna consult on?
You can get anything. I use that number for anything.
Oh.
If the IRS is watching, I don't use that number for anything.
All right.
Hey, and listen, we worldwide, so the IRS might be on here.
Hello.
This isn't me. This is actually
Ramaj.
yeah.
This is
It's
Ramad.
yeah.
So we had a series called Millennials in Church. We had 2 parts to that series. So this is gonna be like either a 3rd part or a start of a new series. We'll figure that out as we go. But I really wanted to touch on the LGBTQIA plus 2S community.
Period. You better do it all.
I didn't know they had numbers.
Baby, they started getting
It's
the
two
numbers, baby.
spirited.
It's
Two-spirited.
two-spirited.
What they mean?
Girl, I don't know. That ain't me, but that's what it is.
You know, I'm an old school gay, so I remember like I'm like a I'm
gay,
like,
straight, bisexual type.
yeah, I'm like,
and we learning just with y'all.
yeah. Because I remember being like a junior gay, and it was just LGB, and I was like, oh, okay.
It was only LGB.
Yeah.
T started making sense.
Then the
Okay,
T.
T is trans. Okay.
And then the
That's
queer,
fine.
but then it was now it's questioning too, I think.
Questioning
I
what?
have seen
Sexuality.
I have seen QQ before.
It makes me feel like this isn't me though, because this isn't us. We're not those Greeks. But it makes me feel like when you walk up on another Greek and they don't know their information or their history, and so like when people ask me about the LGBTQ plus acronym, I don't know. I'm learning
Baby,
too.
hop on Google.
I'm learning.
We don't know.
I'm learning.
How do y'all feel about? Okay. We're gonna get to it. But how do y'all feel about the pronouns, the they, them, the he, her?
Okay, I feel like those are definitely those are appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're appropriate. I feel like you do need to know in this day and age, when it comes to identifying somebody, you do need to know what they identify as.
That's
so
true.
He, him, like I'm definitely he, him. Jamal, you're definitely he.
I'm he, him, and Cash App. And Zell.
Zell, Cash App, and I'm just a dollar sign. I
Yeah.
identify as a dollar sign.
I identify as a dollar sign.
I identify as a dollar sign.
I'm trans rich. I'm trans rich. I'm trans rich. Okay.
We are trans.
I'm trans rich.
If anybody identifies me, otherwise it will be a problem.
But I will say this coming from if you identify, I can't. I was a teacher for many years, so pronouns was something that I taught my students just as a part of our regular curriculum. So when the pandemic hit and people are like, it always baffles me when people have it like, I found this, and this is nothing to my black straight brothers, but the biggest people that I find struggle with pronouns are black heterosexual men. In my experience,
okay.
everything is not the same for everyone, but black men, some black men, not all, have been like, yeah, why everybody want to, what's the pronoun? You've been called you have a pronoun. You just wasn't calling it that.
We called you he your entire life.
Your whole life, Terrell. Your whole life.
Come on.
Your whole life. But I remember
Marion.
that Zoom culture, then everybody was like he, she, and I remember getting on like a Zoom meeting in like July of 2020 at my new job being like, well, let me go ahead and put a little he in here.
Yeah, at the job I worked at that time, I remember they made us.
Really?
They made you put your pronouns so people knew how to identify you.
Okay.
So it was for a great reason. So
That's good.
they made everybody.
To keep from misgendering.
Yes.
Especially
'Cause
like
baby, them type of lawsuits, Mitch.
working in healthcare, it was difficult. I can't lie. It was difficult because when we're giving a report, we have to say this is a something female.
Yes.
But then they don't identify, so I found myself like, okay, can't say that in front of the patient. Got to walk out the room.
Right, you just kind of gotta say it.
Yeah, but out of respect for
professionally.
them, in front of them, I would say, him.
Right,
he,
out of respect for them, I love that.
They, them.
They there though.
They, them.
Some people don't identify. So some people, it's called non-binary. So some people don't identify with like
He or she.
boy or girl. Right?
Yeah.
They're just like, I feel like being this today. I feel like being that today. Like, so truly, they're just like, I am they. And I'm like, okay, cool.
See, I would have never knew. Like y'all, I don't be reading into stuff like that because
It's
I
not
be
your
having
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like my brain be having a lot of stuff on it. I don't need no more razzle dazzle.
But also, there are people who they feel like, to your point, they're not either. I have a couple of friends who are just like, I have a friend who's in transition right now from one gender to another or one sex to another. And so my friend right now, while in transition, is identifying as they or them. Because, and right now my friend is they and them, but soon to be he, him. So I think that sometimes when people are in that in-between stage, because sometimes in the experiences of my friends, you still kind of look like a she or a her, but then you're transitioning to a he or a him. And so when people are like, are you a boy or you a girl? It's just easier for some people to say them and then, or they. And then some people don't feel like, to your point, they identify as either. They've never felt like, and that's a thing too.
You want me to be completely honest?
Be honest.
So I feel like everybody should definitely abide by it, right? You know who I kind of be feeling for?
Who?
The parents of the child, who it is, because, and this is just me being completely honest, it's like, I understand some parents be like, it's hard for me to see you like that. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not hard for me to see somebody like that.
Right.
But I'm just like an empathetic person, so I can put myself in somebody's shoes. So to like one of my friends to see, but like, you know, like when people get mad at their parents, and especially with us being a part of the LGBTQ community, I'm really big on like, give grace to your parents.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Give grace to your parents, because I just watched the other day, this was yesterday, actually, T.S. Madison was talking to her dad. And her dad, although it was kind of an ignorant setting, he could have worded things better. It's always about how you word things as well.
Right.
The approach.
Mm-hmm. He kind of was like, it's really hard for me. Like, I had a son, so it's hard for me to see you as dad, and it's hard for me to say that. Even though, yes, respect her at the end of the day. But sometimes I be wondering, like, damn, if I was a parent, like, that, how would I would respect my child. But, like, when I'm by myself, like, oh, wow, like, I would, it's like.
So, Brandy would still be Terrell in your mind?
I would respect my child and identify them with
yeah.
I would never do that. But you do have to, I'll be like, I wonder how, like, the parents, like.
They got to retrain themselves.
Yes.
They have to relearn.
Yes.
They got to relearn what they thought their child was going to be. Yeah.
Mama got pregnant and planned out everything. Like, she has to retrain it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It kind of, to think about that, I think about the journey that I've had with my parents, right? Like, being.
I was going to ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh.
We let it flow.
Throw the car.
Okay. So, I'm one of many of my dad's children, but with him and my mom, I'm his first biological son. Mm-hmm. So my dad, I think, had these dreams of like, I want my son to do this. I want my son to do that. And then I was like, yeah, I'm gay. But it doesn't mean that I still can't do those things. I just don't play basketball. Like, I'm more of a flute kind of guy. But I really asked for a flute in second grade. Yes. I asked for a flute. So
was you happy when they gave you the recorder?
I was hot cross buns. Okay. Listen. I was a recording maestro. Okay.
Hello?
Matter of fact,
don't pull no flute out.
Remind me tomorrow to order a recorder off of Amazon.
Period.
And send me the link.
No, for real.
I'm gonna definitely get a recorder tomorrow. But I think with my dad, he had to unlearn, and even with my mom, like we had her on the show last season, and she was talking about how like I want you to have a son, I want you to have a daughter, but I want you to have it the right way. And I was like, well, I'm gonna adopt.
What's the right way?
So she was like, well, I want us to have a baby with a woman, and let's have your genes in our family. Listen, when I adopt this kid, it's gonna adopt all my DNA and my DNA. Okay. I don't know how they're gonna make it. It's gonna be trans DNA. Okay.
Trans DNA.
But I think to your point, our parents, like with me being a gay black man, I think all the dreams, and it's natural when you have a kid, you have all these, I mean, you have the dreams for your kid, right? And you think like, it's going to be a little boy, it's going to be a little girl, it's going to do this and this and this. But also our parents grew up in a time, my parents grew up in a time, because I'm a little older, my parents grew up in a time where no one was talking about gender and no one was talking about sexuality. And all their gay friends were like the choir directors or the organ player who like just had a special friend. And so it's that.
The roommate for 10 years.
20.
6. 2, 0.
Yeah, so with my experience, so like I said, my father is a minister. Mm-hmm. So my experience was definitely intersected with church. Like,
yes.
So, one thing I always say and what I love is I thank God that at a very young age I was aware of who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, I have been the same exact person. The person in the room that done known me the longest can tell you I have been the same exact person, like, forever. So it's like, I always knew who I was. It was just me verbalizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it did not, shit, if we're going to get into it,
let's get into it.
So when it came to church, I always was like, I was never the kid that like, you couldn't tell me God didn't love me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so I was that sure of myself.
Yeah.
I'm still the same way. Like, I was little, I remember being like, well, if God made me, then, and y'all always say like he knows his children before they even come out, he knew I was going to be this way. Like, and people don't know that, especially people in the church, they don't know that using those type of words like, God gonna do this to you, he gonna punish you, he gonna this, he gonna do that, that really be fucking some people up.
It's traumatizing.
That's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like, that be fucking people up. Like, he need to deliver you, he need to pray for you. And it's kind of like, no, babe, because if that's the same, we all sin.
Right.
Exactly.
He need to deliver you, he need to pray for you.
Everybody.
We all sin,
like,
bro.
that's the thing.
That be my thing.
I'm going to, and we briefly braced across this last week, but I'm definitely going to say, like, when it comes to me and, like, the church, I am a Christian man. I believe in God. I believe that Jesus is the Lord and Savior and everything.
Right.
I don't agree with the institution of the church.
Okay.
So church is not a thing you'll catch me going too often. Because I'm a very spiritual person, way more than I am a religious person.
Right.
So,
And I get that now,
people.
especially now in like 2023, people are becoming more aware of like some of the antics that come with religion.
Yes.
And so now they emphasizing like relationship over religion,
And
Right.
Which-
I had to learn
which-
that.
Yeah.
which
had
I
to
think
learn
is a
that.
good thing. I think that's a good thing.
I had to learn that because it's like if you get into that word yourself and build that relationship with him, I feel like I'm closer now than when I was going to church
Every Sunday
Sunday.
in the choir, ushering, director of this ministry, all of these things, I'm closer now because
Now.
now I'm focused on the relationship and not trying to be this picture of what I think I should be, this
Yeah.
perfect pure angel who's never been touched.
And hello.
None of that.
But see, my experience is a little different, right? Like I'm like a charcuterie of all these things, I think.
Charcuterie boy.
Okay,
Yes, we love a good charcuterie
We
boy.
love a good charcuterie.
Charcuterie. So like you said that like you always knew who you were. At my big age, like although I was like gay and like so my journey's a little different. So I had girlfriends growing up. I went to college with a girlfriend and we were gonna elope and get married and
Wow,
we were gonna lose our
I did not know that.
yeah, we were gonna lose our virginities together, and she was a questioning girl. I was a questioning guy, so I was like, okay, she cool. She kind of like girls a little bit. I think I kind of like guys, so we just gonna figure this out for the rest. We was gonna figure it out for the rest of our lives. We was gonna be the Q in LGBTQIA, I guess.
Okay.
But
Be the
and
cute.
then we broke up, and then my other girlfriend from high school came to Prairie View, and I was like, okay, if this don't, and then I was like, if this don't work out, I'm gonna do this guy thing 100%.
Oh, so you had never even tried it, or you were?
Oh no, let's be clear. I had tried it. I had tried it. I had tried it.
You know what? I think that is, I love that you said that. That's really, I think that's like such a like grown up gay thing. I remember I used to be like, you know what? I'm going to try to have a girlfriend in 11th grade. 11th grade came, never had a girlfriend. I was like, okay, you know what? 12th grade. 12th grade.
This gonna be it. That's gonna be my year to shine. My year to shine.
It's my year.
But see, mine was like sophomore in college. So I went.
Oh.
It got to college years. I remember y'all, after my sophomore year, I was like, all right, I give up on the girl thing. This shit ain't real.
Mine was second semester sophomore year. I was like, she was like, because she felt like I should be taking her places because she was like, well, me and my friend, they were freshmen. She was like, well, we want to go to Walmart. We want to go to the bank. And I was like, me too. And I didn't have a car. And she was like, well, my friend said that I should break up with you because you ain't got no car. And I was like,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
Do
all
that.
right. And I remember like walking her back to her room. And on the way back, I was like,
Yeah, this
it. It was like,
Turn me up, my
the
girl.
boys are back in town. Like I was like, yes. Do pass go. Do collect $200. This is my
And
shine.
you ain't gotta tell me
This is my
twice.
time to shine.
But I feel like when we talk about religion, right? Like I grew up in like a really Baptist church. I don't remember the pastor condemning gay people when I was a kid, but I also think it might be because the like lead organ player was like right there.
And
somebody had to play the tune.
Somebody had to, because if not, y'all was gonna, what y'all was gonna do? Put a tape deck in there?
Hello. Stomping and clapping.
But I think that like my experience is different, and I want to back up something. You said you knew yourself your whole life, right? I don't think I fully met myself until like 2 years ago.
Wow.
Like 2 years ago, and I will be 40 at the end of this year, and so like
I still don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Right.
Like, hell
And
I don't believe
I
it.
have been a practicing gay for a very long time, like since sophomore
What's
year.
practicing?
I mean, like I was gay. I was like out there. I was dating. I had
doing the thing.
I was almost married like 2 times. Like I was a gay, but like in my mind, all of my life, I thought I was gonna go to hell, and then I thought, well, you know what? I might as well just be really nice to everyone, because if I get to heaven and God's like, okay, you were like gay this much, but you were nice this much, we're gonna let you in. So I thought I was gonna get in on like a pass. Like,
it's so crazy how our minds are, because
100%.
even though I'm not part of the LGBTQIA plus 2S community, when I lost my virginity, I felt the same way. I was like, I'm going to hell, bro. But that's because
I still feel like that.
That's how they train us, though.
You better say that.
That's
shit.
how we're
That's
trained.
how they train us.
And it's not right.
It's not right. That's exactly how they train us.
Yeah.
This is why I am not down. This is why Jalen, I am speaking for Jalen only. This is why I'm not down with the institution of church. I feel like church is ran by literally misogyny and patriarchy. The Bible, when we got it, like, it's told to us from our elders, oh, yeah, you know, it's been around forever, 100 gajillion years, and even when the dinosaurs was here, right? Even when the dinosaurs was here.
Not the land before time, for real.
Before time, baby. So, it's like, you telling me, I've always thought like, so you're telling me a book from a gajillion years ago is still in the exact same format and in it right now. On top of that, y'all, the Bible was used, like, literally, white people taught black people slavery. I mean, in slavery, white people taught these slaves about the Bible. And literally, they were the ones who ran the church. They basically, gave them the Bible here, learn about it. And it was kind of, and I hate to say this, but I'm using this word very lightly, but it was kind of like a brainwashing tactic.
Yeah. I think they use the Bible to manipulate
like
enslaved people.
That's the word I wanted to use.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to say it lightly. It was kind of like a manipulation tactic. And literally, the Bible, like, those white people rewrote that shit. They were rewriting that. When they used to hang slaves, they literally used to read the Bible before they hung slaves. So I'm like, a book that white people used against us because they gave us so many traditions. I just feel like that part, and on top of that book, that's what like is the foundation of the institution of the church. I just feel like that book says, and it contradicts itself in so many ways. Oh shit, I'm really talking my shit on this.
It's okay talking.
But I feel like it'll be like, love your neighbor. Gay people bad. Love your neighbor. You a woman, you need to follow a man. When it's like, I know so many fucking women who are way more smarter than niggas. So it's like, there is no way that all of these niggas can lead these women in these households. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, what? So it's just so many different things. It be like, it'll say one thing and do another, and it'll be like, a man wrote this.
Yeah.
Like, this is a man.
But I think that's why we have to have a relation. You have to.
That's what I was
why
finna
You gotta have your own
emphasize.
relationship.
You
You gotta have your own
have-
relationship with God.
And discernment to know
Yes.
to know what to do.
That's because I'm like, it was so, like, I started, like, actually, like, reading the different stories. People can talk about stories now, and I'll be like, well, I ain't got that for you. It was one part, it's like how particular God was. Like, he wanted stuff a certain way. And I'm like, Oksana, this is how you need to be in your business. You want this hung this way, this to drape this way. And for him to say it in the word, I'm just like, it's so much stuff in the Bible that I see in my life. So I get what you're saying.
That's why I said not the whole thing.
Right.
Not the whole. There are a lot of things that are good in there, but I feel like the shit that's like confusing and the things that like don't make sense, I feel like man wrote that.
I also think too, I heard a pastor say this a couple weeks ago, and it set me a little bit more free, that God is a God of conviction, not a God of condemnation.
Yeah.
So
it's the people that's condemning everything. It's the people.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's the
like,
people that's
the people
doing
to
it.
me is like that's why I say, and trying to use, but I won't try to think the wrong thing. Bitch ain't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love God. You don't love God. What's wrong with you? So my thing is just like the people aspect of the church.
It's the people, bro.
I don't feel like the people aspect. I feel like that is a lot of the horrible ways in society come from like the judgment of the people of the church.
Exactly.
It comes from that, and I'm not that type of person. I'm a very positive person.
Yeah.
I'm really big on like I look. Prime example. Somebody in my family, I kid you not, was talking about the girl Abbott Elementary, Quinta Brunson.
Oh, I love her.
Love her.
Right.
Yeah.
Down. I love her
Quinta
down.
Brunson.
Yeah.
I want y'all to know. It's okay. I heard it. But I want y'all to know somebody in my family was literally like, I can't fool with her
Why?
because she said she was a Jehovah's Witness. I kid you not.
That's people business.
And
Right.
my thing was, I said, so this woman did something amazing for black people. She made a show that we can watch at our own leisure. She's won all these awards, all these accolades. She's an amazing person. Everybody who works with her is like, this girl is fucking amazing. And that's not even common in entertainment because it's usually somebody that's like, I don't fuck with her. But everybody she works with is like, she's amazing. We love her. Like, she's giving us these many opportunities. And you literally don't like this one because of the judgment of the religion she chose.
Yeah.
It's really like, baby, I care about if somebody is a good person.
Yeah.
Because the reality is, it's a lot of Christians that's not good people.
Exactly.
But you just go to church every Sunday, so you feel like you doing
You better.
Yeah, you better.
I think too, it's important. I agree with you. I think too, it's also important to be a part of community. For me.
Yeah.
For me. So like two things. When I talk about just like really now knowing myself even better, I was in therapy for a whole year. Never talked to my therapist about my sexuality. I mean, again, I'm like living out loud. I am gayerson.
Right.
And I'm in therapy, and my therapist turns to me and says, Jamaur, you know God loves you regardless of your sexual orientation.
Wow.
And I just was like, wait.
That's powerful.
That's not what I was paying you for today. I was like, I thought we was talking about work. And then that one moment set me free 3 years ago almost. That one moment. So up until that moment, I was like living on eggshells in my mind, right? Like up until that moment, I was just like, I might wake up in hell. I don't know. We'll see. if it's like, I might wake up and be like, oh, it's warm. Shit. Oh, I'm not in hell. Okay, great.
Up in here.
Just need to cut the air on. Yeah, it's smoking up in here.
Y'all are
Smoking up in here.
And then the other thing was my therapist told me a year ago. She said, Jamaur, you need to find a church that is affirming because you need to be at that kind of place because there can, like to protect yourself. So I now go to a church that is affirming. There's a gay minister. And I said this the other day. I thought, I don't know what I thought I was thinking. I don't know what other people thought I was thinking or what they were thinking. When you say you go to an affirming church, people be like, that's a gay church. Like, I'm like, well, do you think there's like dildos with wings coming down from the sky? I don't know what you thought it was.
What did you think it was?
But it's just a church where there's a gay married black man who's a pastor, and there is a whole mix of people. Sometimes there's more heterosexual people in the church on the Sunday than there is LGBTQ plus people. But for me, it's important for me to be in a church and be in community because I want to pay my tithes to a church. I want to see my tithes like being to work. Like if the ceiling is falling down, I want my money to help repair the ceiling. I want to use my community building skills to be in like the children's ministry or the adult ministry. For me, it's healthy for me to be around people in community. So some people don't like to go to church. That's fine. And then but for me, I like to be there on Sundays. And so I think it's like if you're the shepherd of the flock, you got to be the right kind of shepherd. And so
That's true.
I still was kind of church shopping. Like I ain't really put my membership down there yet, but I'm headed in the right direction.
Okay.
That's 101.
No. Oh no, that was a little India Irene. India, don't sue us. Throughout this.
Speaking of, didn't we talk about her earlier? India Irene. Was that
I
her?
like how the girls came for India Irene.
Wait, something happened with
India
India?
That was my what it ain't.
She spoke on Essence Festival and
India
how they had
Irene.
Megan Thee Stallion on stage, and she was just saying that wasn't the correct context for something
Essence
like that. The Essence Festival is not the right context for that type of show because it's always been kind of wholesome black entertainment. And she was saying that performance wasn't in the right context.
No,
So
I don't like that.
yeah, I didn't like that. So my thing is, are there not like quote unquote bad bitches that go to Essence Fest too? You know what I'm saying? Like for India Irene, it's kind of like you saying wholesome. It's like non-wholesome women can be in those spaces too. Like, and wholesome women listen to ratchet music.
But I think we have to even.
I don't think she wasn't speaking of the woman. She wasn't. Let me clarify. She wasn't talking about Meg Thee Stallion, and I think Janelle Monáe was there. She wasn't saying that they're wrong for doing what they doing. She was just saying that venue wasn't the correct venue because it's always been kind of like
Her.
I don't
like,
know how
her
to
type music.
neo soul, that kind of vibe, and celebrating black excellence, which
That is black.
Megan Thee Stallion is black excellence.
But I get what you're saying.
I think that's what it was, and a lot of older women were in the crowd, and I saw some reviews on like Instagram, and people were like walking out. They were upset that was happening at Essence and stuff. So I get it to a certain extent.
So it's kind of like you would be throwing ass at like Oprah's Legends Ball.
Right.
It's a time and place.
So
for
that's
everything.
what they were saying.
So is it a problem with? I feel like that's something she should have taken up with Essence then.
So
they booked her.
So she actually mentioned that they changed ownership or something, and they're trying to rebrand or revamp. So the change wasn't communicated with the people that's attending.
But you
so
know
I
what?
think it caught everybody off guard.
I think some of that too. I'm just thinking about like I think about our experiences. I talk about me and Jalen's experience all the time. I think that when we talk about like, because it reminds me of I've heard conversations like that about Jalen and myself about the type of gay men we are. Oh yeah, and there's always like respectability politics, right? I'm a little bit more demure, quiet gay, and then he's. Like we're salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And we just be trying to push it.
We just be trying to push it real good.
Yeah.
And
we just be out here shooting. But I have had brothers be like, no, you cool. Like, you cool to be gay. You not like a out there gay. Like, and I'm like, well, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
But
it means you're an idiot for the person whoever says
Yeah. But
because we're all the same. We all like niggas.
We
all like men. So like it's like you need to re-say what you're saying. You want a wholesome gay man. You want a gay man that's not as loud.
Yeah.
You want a gay man that because you want a quiet. Niggas want their gays how they want their women.
Quiet.
Wow, I never thought about that because I'm like, why is it so? I've seen it even with my own family, being around more flamboyant. They it's like they turn their face up and it's just too much. But
keep going.
I don't get it.
what it is in my opinion, the proximity to homosexuality equals danger sometimes. So it's dangerous
in their mind. Okay.
In our parents' minds, sometimes in gay like it's and even in our community we see internal homophobia. So when you're like a out loud or like you're living your truth out loud, right? Because what it is sometimes people think, well, you're gay, and then like, good example. I have this with my line brothers. I have my line brothers are straight, and I've been places with my line brothers, and someone says, my line brother just hugged me, and a guy comes up to me and was like, hey, I know that your boyfriend just walked away, but can I get your number? I was like, that's not my boyfriend, and maybe. But and he's like, well, he just hugged you, and I'm like, yeah, he's my line brother. Like, there's not like he's not gay,
wrong with that.
but because I'm gay, he's supposed to be gay.
No,
And then also sometimes when we're in the situations and societies and organizations that we are a part of in different places, the proximity to homosexuality is dangerous because if I'm gay, you gotta be gay. You must be gay. You can't just be hanging
like
with this
you,
guy.
they treat it
you
like
know-
cooties. Like
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
rub off on you. What?
Definitely. But then I feel like the ones who project that type of stuff, those are the insecure men.
Yes,
Oh.
very
Like,
much.
Yes,
A real
I
man,
think so too.
and
That's
I'm
me.
telling y'all, a real man literally is never gonna. Same way. The way can't nobody turn us straight. Can't nobody make you gay.
Exactly.
So
If
it's like
in you,
the
it's
thing.
in
If it's
you.
in you, you better say it. If it's in you, it's in you. Point blank. Period. Can't nobody force you. Can't nobody make you. All of that shit. And this is so stupid to me. Like when people be like, and I always tell people like, I've never been touched, molested, none of that. I've never been touched, raped, molested, none of that. Like ever in life. I was literally born gay. Like came out the cooter, gay as hell. I remember liking boys in kindergarten. If you really want to take it there.
Yeah.
And like I said, because I have a friend whose mom, she thinks that like all gay men and a lot of other
Somebody
people think
touched them.
Yeah, a lot of, and it's like, girl, nobody ever fucking touched me. I ain't never had no weird ass uncle. I ain't never had like nobody ever did that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like this is really who I am. And for those who have been touched, there are straight men who have been touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you being touched cannot sway the gay or straight spectrum. You are what you are, and you ain't what you ain't. So the thing is, I feel like secure men definitely can't nobody turn them gay. They can be friends with a gay man. They can be cool with a gay man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't have to be. It's those men who literally be like, ugh, look at that. Like, I remember,
Yes,
and
I hate it.
Hate it.
It like bothers me.
mind you, I done had a gajillion jobs. So, one of my gajillion places that I've worked before.
Can you repeat that?
One of my gajillion places I done worked before. This man, I was not at work one day, and my best friend, we used to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And this one man was in the break room talking about me. And yeah, he was in the break room talking about me. And he older man, break room talking about me. He like, yeah, so Jalen, I think she said the nigga was like, is he funny or is he like funny?
And what is
My best
funny?
friend was
I
like,
hate that.
Hilarious.
my best friend was like, he funny with the hand, not with it. And so he was like,
Wow.
oh no, I wasn't saying that. That same man, literally later down the line, tried to talk to me.
That's what it
That's what it be.
is.
Like, so it's like,
But you
what?
ain't heard that from me.
If I could show you my DMs,
Let's talk about it.
Show us.
if I could show you my DMs, if I could show you the DMs, because what it is you're curious, right? They're curious.
Yeah.
They're curious.
But I also want to, I'm going to put a pin in there, but I want to,
Booty hole too.
you know what?
So just say you want a man.
Hello?
Just say you want a man.
While you were talking, I was thinking like it's so. I love how there is the juxtaposition of the type of lives that like our gays are like yin and yang. Because like while you weren't that kid, like I was the kid that like was touched as a kid, or like other boys or older men, because I don't know what it is, but like older men liked me so much when I was a little kid, right? I almost was like, I might have been the original sugar baby. I wasn't giving sugar. I wasn't giving any sugar. You know what? Let's just cut that. Hold on, I can fix this. Take two. Take two.
Rewind.
What I'm saying is, I was the kid who like guys like when I was a little boy, or the boys in the apartments were like, and I had been like touched as a kid, and in my mind I thought, well, because boys gravitated to me in that way, then maybe that's the way that I should gravitate, right? And so I didn't see it for me with girls, but then I was like, well, but then I'm supposed to be with a girl because I'm a boy. And so I think it took a lot of me unlearning that, and even during the pandemic, having to unpack that a situation that in my mind as a kid I thought was molestation was really just two young boys experimenting. Like I was just he didn't in one instance. Later on did it turn to be something else? Yes. But so just unpacking a lot of those things, unlearning some of the things from my childhood. But I think in some situations, in my situation, I think I may have so veered more to homosexuality because of my same-sex experiences as a kid.
Got it.
And then growing up had to realize, yeah, that happened, but I still really like boys.
Yeah. That do be the thing, because I've had a friend that was like that. Like, they got touched when they was younger, and he's gay, and we were talking, and I was like, but you know, there's like straight men who've been touched, and they're 100% straight. I was like, so I think I want to snatch away that narrative from the gay community. Like, I don't want people putting that on. Like, let somebody be them without having to attach trauma to it.
Yes.
Like you said, you unpacked it and was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I really just like nigga.
We was
At
just
the end of the day.
At the end of the day, like, so I just want that narrative to be snatched away, but it's really like like I said, the secure men are going to be secure. Like, it's the men, and girls always, this their favorite thing. How can you tell? Baby.
That was on her card.
How you know when to approach a man? Like, how you know when it's...
It's really a demeanor thing, but if I always tell people one thing. If a girl, you want to know your nigga gay? Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Y'all always want to know. That nigga that goes, ugh, or what the fuck, or when y'all in the car and he just randomly bring up a gay nigga, what the fuck? That nigga had on some motherfucking. Y'all leaving the motherfucking party. Y'all in the car driving. This nigga turn on the music. All of a sudden be like, why that nigga had on them booty shorts? Why he was doing all of that?
Cause why you worried?
Y'all need to turn around and look at that nigga and be like, why y'all be thinking it's cute? Because let's talk about how women can also be homophobic. We'll get on that. We'll get on that after this. But the thing is, y'all be thinking shit like that cute. Y'all think when y'all man talk about a gay nigga, and y'all be like, oh, that mean my nigga the furthest from gay.
He be right next door.
Yeah, baby, right next door. Y'all be, oh yeah, because he said that boy was doing too much. Why was that boy twerking? Why was that boy?
You heard that before?
Yeah.
That's sick.
But my question to her is, sis, what are you like? You not even advocating.
Yeah, fuck them type of bitches.
You not even advocating.
Yeah. If you sit up there and then if you have a gay friend and you have a boyfriend and you let your boyfriend talk about your gay friend, girl, you can go to hell right along with your boyfriend.
I had a friend who told me one time, she's like, you know, all the boyfriends I'd have had, you know, such and such said to me, you know, just recently, you know, Jamaur always thought he was like a cool, you know, he cool to be like a gay dude. Like, I really respect him.
That's like them saying women are pretty to be black.
Or you cute to be fat.
That's literally,
that's
the exact same thing.
I stopped her right on the back of Cutting Road, right behind Willowbrook Mall, when I was driving my blue Altima, right where we were, and I said, don't ever say nothing like that again. You sound extremely ignorant. That is extremely homophobic. And moving forward, the language you should be using is X, Y, and Z. Because I'm not cool to be gay. I'm gay and I'm cool.
Hello. That's literally, friend, I like how you put that. That's the exact same equivalent to saying you pretty for a big girl, you pretty for a dark-skinned girl, you pretty for
I'm just pretty.
Hello.
Just pretty.
Cool. Fuck you talking about? Like, my thing, I always tell people, niggas are you not like the rest of them. I always say, yes, I am.
Super like him.
I'm like the rest of them.
I'm him. I taught him.
Yeah, I taught him. Like,
I made him.
I made him.
He
learned it from me.
But it's also right. You know what? I want to talk about real quick because yes, those kind of men. But you're talking about the homophobia in women.
Oh, y'all pissing me off.
So the one I hate the most. The one I hate the most.
I want a gay best friend.
Or how about this one? How about this one? Have you been with him? Let me show you his picture. You know him? Do you know him?
Oh, they be trying to figure out.
They be trying to figure out, bitch. If you got to figure it out, let them go.
But then ask him. Why don't you ask him? But see, I think. But I think another thing, if we allowed, I can't speak for white men, clear men, trans nationalities. I can't speak for nobody else. But if we made black men, not just women, if everybody made black men feel more comfortable to express their sexuality, because you don't need to ask me. You could ask Tyrone. You don't have to.
So but what does that look like? Making them feel comfortable though. Like, what does that?
Think about this. And to your point that you made earlier, so I'm walking down a rabbit hole here. So we talk about if two girls kiss each other, right?
Yeah.
It's sexy. It's sensual.
Oh,
I want to see that. There's a phase. But if
Double
two men
standard.
kiss each other, right? It's
Yeah.
disgusting. It's horrible, right?
Yeah.
And I have some really close friends who have experimented with men one time and said, hey, this ain't it for me. I'm not going to be able to do it, big dog. I may have achieved an erection. I may have even arrived to an orgasm. But, like, that was just the one and done, right? And
Yeah.
so I asked this question to somebody else the other day. They was like, yeah, that don't work. No, he gay. Okay, cool. And I asked, do you think I'm gay? He was like, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Glad you know. And I said,
Right.
but if I kiss a girl, does that make me straight? No, big dog, you
They
got
like, you just a gay nigga who
kiss the girl. So why can't men? Men should be allowed. Black men should be able to have the same sexual agency as some black women.
Sexual agency.
But
I
That's
we
just
love
a world
that.
of double standards.
But
that
it's
we
not
live in.
fair,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. We just live in a world full of double standards, and it ain't.
But the
cool.
thing is, what people
ain't
don't
cool.
understand is what society doesn't understand is double standards can also be destroyed.
Right. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly.
What does it
Break
look
them
like?
down.
So what it looks like is just, I feel like don't egg on the homosexual rage that a nigga has. Or like, let him know like, well, nothing's wrong with that. Like, if that's how that person wants to live, then they can do that. In his mind, subconsciously, it'll fuck around and turn some shit like, oh, okay, maybe I am tripping. Maybe I need to accept that shit. Because a lot of that should be, a lot of, like we saying, like, them niggas that be doing all of that and BNDL, like, them niggas want to experiment.
That's all.
Absolutely.
I had a situation, and I think we've talked about this before, where I had, and it's been multiple friends. So let me say this. So if you're the friend watching, this may not be about you, but
It's not about you.
I've had a couple of male friends where the nurturing and the type of love that I give in my friendships, they usually get that with women. And then the type of security that they provide in our friendship, I usually get that with the men that I date. So then we are like, do I like you? It's almost like the Spider-Man meme when Spider-Man pointing at each other. Do I like you? Do I like you? And I had a situation where I had to tell a heterosexual male friend a couple of weeks ago, like, hey, you know, when we first got really, really cool, because of the type of nurturing you were providing for me, and the way that I had just got out of this relationship and the things you were doing for me, my boyfriend had done for me. Mind you, we never had anything sexual. We never kissed. It was just like he was the way that my ex-boyfriend had treated me. And in my mind, I was like, I like him. Wait. Do I like it? And I had
You
to
have to take a step back.
I had to go to
The
therapy
lines
about
got
this.
blurred.
I had to go to therapy
There you
about
go.
this.
Yeah.
Lines got blurred. Yep.
I be having the stuff, the saying.
But
Baby.
and for me, it wasn't even a blur. It was that I had to be like my therapist. So this is what I'm going. This is what I'm actively practicing now.
Okay.
Having relationships with heterosexual black men, because as a gay black man, I was either like cool with other gay black men or dating gay black men. I never really had like, I had a few heterosexual black male friends and then my brothers and stuff, but I never just had like, I had to desexualize my relationships on what I thought with black men. And what it was confusing for me, because I would be in spaces with some black men where I thought we was just homies, and then I look over and your meat is out. Or we're going out and then you put your arm around me and you kiss me and I'm like, oh, okay, I do kind of like you. So yeah, but then when I'm in a room with other heterosexual black men and none of those things happen, sometimes I'd be like, hey, like, we've been here for like 2 hours. Like, you ain't trying to kiss me? You ain't trying to hang out?
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but that was a me thing. That was a Jamar thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something, a part of my journey too.
That's great. So I want to talk about this experience I had past Sunday, like watching. Y'all know I was Cole and stuff.
Yes, period.
So I watched this one. Her name is Brandon. When I say she get down, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to you, Pooh.
What up, B?
Shout out to you, Pooh. She seeing this thing. I don't know if she identified as a friend or what like that. I don't know. So no disrespect. I don't know how to go by it. But she was dancing with her friend as the lead, and a guy came and he was dancing with both of them. I knew he ain't know what was going on. He already drunk. His homeboys in the corner laughing. They know what's going on, and they didn't tell him. He done danced the whole song. Brandon, keeping her cool, you know, getting down or whatever. So when he got off the dance floor,
Brandon was born
A woman?
a male.
Okay, I had
Got it.
At first,
That's
I thought it was a woman too.
Yeah.
So when she said that he didn't know and everybody was laughing, I was like, Okay, this must be okay. Got you.
Born
Okay.
male, yeah.
Okay.
So a heterosexual male went and grabbed them.
with Brandon. Okay.
Went and grabbed them while she was dancing with her
You
friend.
using
I'm
your
trying.
pronouns.
She got it.
So wait, I'm a little lost. So are we saying that Brandon presents as a woman?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes, Brandon
Yes.
presented-
I'm on the
that's why I
train.
said- Yeah,
I'm on the
that's why I
train.
said
Choo
she
choo.
ain't know how Brandon. That's why it was no disrespect.
Oh, all right, B.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. So there's that. And when the guy came, to dance with him, so the dance was cool. I know what's,
Right, but you minding your business.
my business is being minded,
Yeah.
okay? Over there, they're like
Dying
beat
laughing.
up, dying laughing. So once he gets off the floor, they laughing like, "Hey, bro, you ain't know that was this nigga mad. He about ready to fight." In my head, I
It's
know
the
how
laughing
men
though.
are.
I hate that.
When they feel like, "Oh, you played me." No,
He
you
ready to
first
fight
off,
this
You played yourself.
Yeah, you
he
played.
was ready to fight his homeboys.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
but
cool.
in
I
my
was
head,
gonna
I'm
say
thinking like, "Oh, I hope he don't try to do nothing
to Brandon
because that he didn't know." You know what I'm saying?
But the sad part about it, there are some niggas who thank God they didn't do nothing to Brandon. Shout out to you. But there are some niggas who would have been like, I feel so played. I gotta overcome my masculinity.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
you gotta
scared
prove
for
it.
that. I
Yeah.
was scared for that.
And that's
I'm
sad that
thinking,
you gotta be scared for that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
In 2023.
He going to this homeboy. I'm watching people face.
You literally watching the
I'm
whole thing.
people watching like looking at that person's reaction, his, and he just laughing like, bro, I ain't know. Like, bro, you are good. How you deal? My thing is, I can
was a
see you would have dipped her.
Yeah.
You ain't even dipped her. You ain't dipped her nothing. So all you doing is doing a hand move. So I'm like, bro, in my head, I'm like, bro, you are good.
Good,
bro.
like these
But can you
But
imagine?
It should be okay. It should be cool.
It should be cool.
Can you imagine if you're thinking this way and you're thinking about Brandon's safety? Imagine if he was Brandon's mama.
I'm saying no, right? Because she
Ooh,
normally
yeah.
at the dances with him. Yeah.
Think
yeah.
about that. When I came out, I didn't have to come out to my
I
grandma.
wanted to
My auntie
tell
called.
I wanted to tell y'all
We
doing
keep
it.
doing
it.
Y'all doing it. We
So-
don't need these cards.
No, but keep them because they cute.
Yes, very much so.
Keep 'em in the
While we over here cutting ours out of construction paper off the record, it's cool. We next. Whoever this is, Quita, whoever you is, we
Not
next.
Diamond.
We love these
Shout out
quick.
to
Diamond.
Diamond.
I'm in, baby.
Come on. But even the way that I came out and my parents, I felt like a couple things. So my grandmother, how my grandmother found out, and again, I always say that I have too many closets in my home. I refuse to go inside of any other that's not a closet in my home. But I have been out and proud and gay since the mid 2000s ish. And but I just never had that conversation with my family. Everybody, not everybody.
Right.
And so last year for Pride, my team at Officially Off the Record, we decided, I've been telling everybody else's story. It's been 2 seasons. It's time to start telling my story. So we made a post about me being black and gay and want to have kids, yada, yada, yada. So my aunt, my mama's sister, calls me in the middle of my nap. Jamar, this your auntie. My auntie always has to remind me that she's my aunt. You're my mother's sister, I know.
I literally know who you are. You're
Like
saying
for
my
real.
phone.
Come
This
on.
your auntie. Hey, I had always loved you. We knew something might have been a little bit different about you, but we always loved you.
We
love you.
knew.
So we get through this whole conversation. She was like, but is you out now? I was like, I never was in.
I never was
Oh, okay. I was like, we just started talking about it on my show. She was like, oh, okay. And I was like,
Like, Auntie love you.
I ain't
and I was like, you obviously didn't watch season 1, and that's okay because it's in the archives. But and so then 2 days later, my grandmother comes calling me. She was like, hey, I heard about you. I was like, what did you
What you
hear?
heard,
So then
though?
she says, now don't be up there. You ain't gonna be wearing no skirts or no dresses or nothing, huh?
Why they automatically think
They
you want to
love
be
that
trans?
I was like, you
I
don't
love
have to.
that.
I'm not coming for your shake and go wig. You don't have
We
to
not
worry.
coming for the shaking
You
girls
don't
at
have to
all,
worry.
baby.
But when I thought about it and I internalized and I talked about it with my stepmom, we came to the conclusion that in the era that my grandmother was raised, when her friends were out, it was dangerous. So her friends that were out were
okay.
killed and
Okay,
robbed and
yeah.
beat up and raped. And then when I think about my dad, right, even the conversation that we had, my dad is super dramatic. And so my dad comes to me. He tried to have the conversation on Father's Day one day. I did not have the conversation, and I don't think I've ever said this out loud or on a platform. My brother told me one time that my stepmom, who we call mom, he was like, Mom said that if dad ever found out you were gay, he would be hurt. So for years I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna have a conversation with my dad. We're gonna talk about everything else.
Yeah.
And so one Father's Day, my dad, we're pulling up to get fish.
Was that when you were younger?
No, this was when I was like 20 something. And so my dad, we were getting fish on Father's Day, and he was like, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "You sure you want to have this conversation on Father's Day?" And he was like, "You know what? You know what? You're right. We'll just back out of this." Right. And so like years later, he asked me, "Jamar."
Oh, it was years in between.
Years.
Oh wow.
I'm like 30 something now. He's like, "Jamar, are you gay?" And I was like, "Yes, Daddy, I am." "Okay, all right, okay, I'm cool, Dad. I got it." And he was like, "I'm gonna ask you another question." And this is the question where I feel like with some black men, the way you answer this question, your dad's gonna be like, "Yes" or "Damn." So my dad was like,
"Damn for sure."
"Do you for shit show?" My daddy was like, "Do you give or do you receive?" And I said, "Well, Batman, I receive, and I receive very well."
You told him very well?
Very
yeah,
well.
he said that
Very well.
tonight.
Very well. My dad was like, he was like, "All right, son, that's all right."
He don't want no more. He don't want no more information.
But if I would have said, "Yeah, Daddy, I give,"
You're like, "That's my son.
That's my boy. That's my gayest boy. And I feel like, again, and to the theory that I say, and I don't think that I think my dad is having to unlearn a lot of things. He's a senior citizen.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think that heterosexual black men, my theory is that some heterosexual, so this isn't a catch-all, but some heterosexual black men see gay black men the same way they see black women, which is equal to one another and beneath them. So when I said that I was a receiver, that didn't masculinize me, that feminized me, and that made me, I think, in some aspect, it diminished a part of who he may have thought I was as a man, but you can be flamboyant and feminine and still be a masculine black man. You know, like, so you can still be a masculine black man.
A real man.
Just like you can be a feminine woman and still be an alpha woman. Like like you said on your podcast the other day, like, we're not a monolith. Black people are not a monolith at all.
So coming out on my end, his was cute. I loved it. No, but like you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how mine was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I would never lie to y'all. Mine wasn't like that. Like, my parents didn't play that shit growing up. Like, straight up, point blank, period. I didn't have those parents that was like, "Oh, yeah, that's okay. Let's go. This is all right." Hell no. I had them type of parents. My daddy is a minister now. He's literally a reformed hood nigga. Like, in real life. So, growing up, what? Gay? Hell no, not in my motherfucking house.
That's the what?
Yeah.
So you want me to be gay outside?
Outside.
And I was.
But not in the house?
I was still gay in the house, too.
That's what
I was still, right. Might as well. So, I had very much so, and it's crazy because me and my mama was just talking about this on Sunday. I've always been close to my parents, but ever since I came out, I'm finna tell the story. So, basically, me and my best friend, we went out to Papacito's. We was at Papacito's, and this is before the pandemic. This is 2019 when they was doing happy hour. Basically, great times. So basically, but I know Papacito's is coming out with happy hour now. So it's
they back?
It's back.
Woo!
It's back.
Okay.
We gotta make it. Okay.
I just seen it today.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, we at Papacito's. We getting drunk off the motherfucking waves. And the goddamn watermelon margaritas. And Papacito's, they do this to y'all motherfucking drinks. So, we is drunk. And we talking, and I'm like, girl, excuse me. At this point, I had came out to all my friends. So, what I did, I came out to my friends first.
Yeah,
Every last
that
one of
makes
my
sense.
friends. All my friends, literally everybody was like, girl, we knew. We was just waiting on you to say something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was easy. So, I'm like, how the fuck am I going to tell my mom and daddy?
Yeah.
Like, how? I hadn't even told my sister. Like, and she was like, okay, bet. So my plan was originally I was going to have my sister don't live too far from my mom and daddy. I was going to have her come over. We was going to eat at the dinner table. Mind you, we never do that. So my parents was literally going to be like, what the fuck is going on? So basically, we at the motherfucking, I get home, we drunk. We at happy hour. I'm like, girl, I'm going to tell my parents in 2 months. 2 months. I can't say it in 2 months. 2 months, girl. We don't get the party started in 2 months. This party is going to be started. Baby, I went home. my mom and daddy was laughing at something, and they was laughing. My mama had said my mama has a gay best friend, and he had did something funny at work. So she was like telling my daddy what happened at work, and they was just laughing about it. But me being on the fence, for no fucking reason, drunk. Me being on the fence, I was like, "What's funny?" So imagine my personality, but like both of my parents are super outspoken,
right?
So they was like, "What you mean? What's funny?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, "What's funny?" Cause y'all laughing and it must be funny. And they like, my dad was like, "Your mama telling a joke at work that such and such did." So my mom was like, "Yeah, I'm just telling a joke. What's the problem?" And I'm like, "Because I don't think that's funny."
Just drunk.
Like drunk and crazy. It ain't funny. So they like, my daddy was like, "Okay, so what you getting so offended for? Like you trying to get at something?"
Right.
Like
what you trying to?
As a matter of fact,
that's literally how it happened. I was
loading.
I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I am getting at something." So immediately they both like, they attentive as fuck at this point. They like, I'm like, "Yeah, I am getting at something." He was like, what you want to get at? Like, what you saying? I'm like, "Yeah, you want to know why I don't think it's funny?" They like, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm gay." Bitch, give me my Oscar. Give me my motherfucking Emmy Award. Give me I deserved it. I was drama that day, baby. I was drama that day. So, you could literally hear a rat piss on cotton. How quiet it was. It was like
That's
15
so
seconds of
crazy.
quietness.
And that's my question. I'm like, why do people announce when they straight? Why? I don't.
Girl,
so
hello.
what makes you feel the need to come out to your family? Like, what is it about that?
So I feel like what made me, I love that. What made me do it is because it was something that needed to be done.
Okay.
It was gonna be nothing but facades. My daddy, when I was growing up, my daddy used to be like, he would see a girl and be like, "Yeah, you'll get on that, huh? You'll get on that."
Nah.
I remember being little like, I like niggas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like boys. Like, I don't like no fucking girls. Like,
Yeah.
He used to always be like, "Yeah, you know, you see that."
And it'd be so weird. No.
No.
Where her brother?
I don't
Where her brother? Where her brother?
I'm like, shit, I'm looking at the nigga beside her.
Beside her.
Look, I'm not looking at her like I never was like, it never gave that. So I used to hate that. He used to do that all the time. And I remember I would go to school and ask my straight friends like, do y'all daddies do this one thing? And I would tell them and they'd be like, "Mm-mm."
But it's because it's them trying to push us to be straight.
Yeah.
Or like trying to, like with me as a kid, in second grade, I asked for a flute instead of a football. And my dad was like, "We're not getting you a flute." And I felt like even then, I felt that there were so many things that my parents would do. And I hate that we as black people do the like, let him go play with his boy cousins. That's going to toughen him up. Or he's got to be in softball or football. Like all those things to toughen you up, because I did all those things. And it just was really like, man, I'm around a whole bunch of boys. Like I was around what y'all didn't know is you trying to. Yeah, like, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. I was with the boys.
I was loving it. I was definitely that cousin. Like, I was that cousin that would go with the girl cousins. And my dad would be like, go with the boys. And I remember literally being with the boys like, it's so motherfucking boring.
Yeah.
And boys were so boring, but then I would manipulate them. And I would take their lunch money and some of their money for their J's, like all those things. Like that was me, like pay up, niggas.
Pay up, like, cause it's like, oh, this not fun. I want to go back with the girls, like.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, your son, no matter how much, you can put this is why I'm real big on like, let your child be who he is, like no matter what. Don't try to like. Right now, my nephew was like, "I want a flute." My sister would be like, "Oh, okay, cool." Because at the end of the day, you can throw 1,000 footballs at your son. You can throw 1,000 baseballs at your son. You can shoot 1,000 basketballs with your son. If your son likes men, your son is gay.
You know what else too? I think
nothing's gonna change.
When you asked about why do you have to come out? That was a question.
It seems like a lot of stories I hear is like traumatizing, or you're scared to even say it. And I hate that, because you shouldn't have to be scared to be who you are. You get what I'm saying?
Well, for me, it was like, I take it back to, so with my biological mom, 8th grade, we were at my grandmother's house. I was a really good kid of all my siblings. Not that my siblings were bad, but like I was just a good kid. And I had asked my mom, can I do something after whatever? And she was like, yeah. And one of my cousins was like, man, Deborah, you know, Jamar can say he was gay tomorrow, and you'd be like, sure to that too. And she was like, no, he would have to get out of my house. Again, to your question, like,
Lord.
where was I going to live?
Yeah.
And so in that moment, in my mind, in 8th grade, I said to myself, if I do decide that I'm going to be gay when I get older, my mother will be the last person to know.
Yeah.
So all these years, everybody was at the party, and my mom was waiting on her RSVP. So last summer, when that post came out on Off the Record, I was like, well, because my aunt called me, let me call my mama, because
she called her sister.
So I said, because you already know Lashes was going to know. Lashes was going to know. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and do this. So I told my best friend, and she was just like, well, you gonna say something to your mama? I was like, well, I guess I have to. I didn't think about that. Didn't talk to my team about it. I was just like, cool. So I'm at the park working out. I called my mom, and she was like, I was like, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking. And I said, Mama, I just want to check in with you on something. You do know that I'm gay, right? She's like, oh yeah. Like, so what are we talking about? And I was like, oh, okay. I just want to put language to it. And she was like, yeah. So it's like, basically she was kind of confused. She's like, what took you so long?
You just not telling me?
And so what I had to do was,
you took her back to 8th grade.
and I told her truth. So I said, you said some disparaging comments in my childhood, and I always promised myself you'd be the last person to know. So instead of being like, it's okay, like instead of me saying that and affirming her and comforting her, I was silent while she was silent, and I let her process what she did.
That's great.
And I let her own that. And then after that, we broke the silence. And then I said, I also wanted to tell you, because me having been in 2 serious relationships that were headed down the road to marriage, I always said I didn't want to be in a 3rd potential marriage situation, and then my mom wasn't a part of that. I didn't want to wait until the week of the engagement or the day of the wedding to be like, by the way, girl, we got your dress is purple. Just, you're going to sit in the front.
Yeah.
I didn't want I wanted my mom to be an active person in my relationships.
Yeah.
And
She can be that now.
now she can. I had that with every man that I ever dated. Had met all my friends and all of everybody else, and even, you know, my last couple of serious boyfriends. And then with this guy, the last guy that I was with, him and my mama just hit it off. And so there was some freedom in that. And then I had to give my mama, like you said earlier, grace. I had to forgive my mom. I had to give my mom grace. I had to, because you're raising a child, and there's no playbook to that. And I just had to give my mama grace. Now, am I going to still correct my parents? Absolutely. When my dad said, we still praying for you, I said, don't say your prayers, because I pray for myself, and I can pray for you too. You don't need to pray me out of gayness, because
and if
I'm
you
here.
Pray for me, girl, pray my money get in my pocket.
Please.
No goddamn.
Please.
I don't pray for who I am as a person. Here's my thing. I love that you said that, because I was going to touch on that. I had to give my parents grace because, like I said, how they responded to things, I knew that they grew up in a time where they didn't see that. Back then, they always tell me, like, you know, back in those days, when people were gay in their families, they always went to either California or New York. Like, so gay, that's why those are 2 big cities with heavy gay populations, because, and if you watch Pose, they even talk about that, like, they were leaving other parts of the country to go there to build a family, which is how houses were created. But I love the fact that my parents, when I came out, me and my daddy had a conversation 2 days later. It's extremely hard for me to cry. Me and this nigga was balling at the table. And I basically let him know every way in the world how he ever made me feel growing up. I told him about you see that girl there, you see that? I told him about all the ways that I knew what he was doing, trying to make me straight. And I looked at my daddy in the eyes. I said, that Bible, and like I said, I love God, I love Jesus and everything, but I let him know that Bible, if it's in there telling you that I'm a horrible person, that's not the truth. And I said, if you are believing what you're reading and it's telling you that I'm a horrible person, I said, I know I'm not a horrible person. I said, I'm an amazing person. I have amazing friends. I have amazing people in my life. Like I said, I'm all about being. And that's not the reason, and let me just say this. Me being gay, I don't want no one to take this. Me being gay and my outlook on, religion has nothing to, they're literally 2 separate entities.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Don't think I don't go to church because I'm gay.
Right.
They're literally totally separate things.
Yeah.
But I was letting him know, I know God loves me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm a good person.
Absolutely.
So I know that when he's talking about love and all of these passages, he's talking about me.
Right.
He's talking about me. He's not all of that other stuff. with the hatred and this, that, and the third, like, that has nothing to do with me. I'm a great person, and I'm a gay black man. And that's who I am. And he was amazing with, he was receiving it. He received it. And I had a conversation with my mama, too. And we constantly have conversations, like, and we be talking about stuff I would have never thought we talked about. And my parents are, with the honesty being a thing now, like, we're way closer. Like, our relationship is closer. And they're very willing to course correct and unlearn things.
I think when you were talking about being gay in church, right? While you were talking, I kept thinking, like, it's so much church hurt being gay, right?
Man.
It's so much church hurt, and I had to call my therapist today, like at 5 o'clock, because I was like, hey, I'm going on this show. We're gonna be talking about these things. I just kind of like want to check in real quick with you about this. And I just was like, sometimes I'll listen to my favorite minister or like maybe my favorite gospel artist, and then they'll say something about gay people, and I'll be like, I really liked you. We were all rooting for you.
No,
literally. But my therapist was like, yeah, Jamar, but she was like, well, grace. She was like, sometimes we got to give people grace, right? Like that. They said that one thing, but does that divorce all the other great things that they said, right? And then I also think, shout out to Gloria. Gloria is amazing.
Shout out to you, Glow.
Glow, my girl Glow, Gloria Jean. But we talked about that, and I asked her, I was like, well, how do I show up today? And she was like, you are loved. You are loved. God is loved, right? So, like, you show up and you talk about that.
Yeah.
And God is love, and God doesn't not love you, right? And she was like, we're living in the New Testament, right? So we're living in some of God's new promises and things like that. So that's what helps me sleep at night. That's what helps me be able to rationalize my sexuality and be like, because I lead a prayer group every day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I am, and I think sometimes as a gay black man, we got to rationalize religion, and sometimes I don't even like to have conversations about religion because my therapist even said today, she's like, I don't know where the Bible in the New Testament talks about homosexuality, right? And then we kind of unpacked a little bit of that, but it is a conversation that we need to have, and I do think that a lot of us black gay men are recovering from church hurt.
Wow.
And I love the fact that you said God is love. Like, that's how I see it. I'm like, God is love. Like, I talk to God every day. I pray every day. Like, literally talk to God all day, every day. And it's like, that's why I always say I do everything out of love, because that's really what I do. I do everything out of love. Like, if the vibe ain't right, I'm not with it.
No.
I'm doing it all out of love. And the thing is, I feel like there are church people, like, matter of fact, I want to even scratch out, like, we're going to put the gay thing to the side real quick. There are church people who are just hypocritical, period. And it's like, God is love. And y'all talk about women, y'all do all of these things, and y'all be like, look at her, she a slut, because she wearing these clothes. Look at this man, he like this because he do this. This nigga ain't even dressed right for church. This nigga, y'all, it's
so judgmental.
The same thing that society does, I feel like the church does. The most. And I'm like, a lot of those rules come from the church, and they're intertwined. And my thing is, I'm just all about God is love. I love your neighbor for real.
Yeah.
Like, love your neighbor for real. Like I said, all the negativity that comes with the church and all the negativity keep me
the condemnation.
What?
You said
I would say condensation.
That condensation. Because it makes sense, friend, because it's the precipitate. It's a lot of dots and like a lot of people. It's on the outside when it should be on the inside. Don't shut me down because I'm preaching. Bill, not a science guy.
Just like Rev Run used to say, God is love. Rev Run.
And that's it. And that's just that.
And that's
on
that.
So I love that y'all. I love that y'all talked about grace, because that's what this show is about.
Yes.
Easy on Me. It's about showing ourselves grace as well as we navigate this journey called life. Okay, because it's not easy.
It's not easy. And
It's
I'm
not
glad
easy.
you got a therapist that's showing you,
I love her.
And I love
She's on speed dial,
We love a
FaceTime.
good glow.
We love a good glow.
Listen, listen. Let me plug my girl real quick, okay?
Give me her info
If you,
address.
Yes.
I'm gonna put it in the group chat. If you need a therapist, okay, let me tell you about my girl Gloria. Whatever you paying for other people, she the one. Like literally, Miss Gloria has helped me unpack so much stuff. And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna be silent. Miss Gloria, I started seeing her April 2020. I was having the worst anxiety. My anxiety was presenting like COVID. I thought I had COVID. It wasn't for like a month almost. And I mean, shortness of breath, not clear thoughts, sweating, panic, all those things. I thought I had COVID every day. It was anxiety and panic and fear. And I started seeing her. I told my other friend in the prayer group about her. We told another girl in the prayer group. From us 3 people, all of our friends have started seeing her. Her clientele has increased so much.
That's a
and so it's like,
blessing.
tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm back. Like, Gloria is amazing. So I recommend her to any and everybody. Folks be like, they need to see somebody. Let me see your Gloria number. So if you need Gloria's number, I got you.
Also, I want to say, y'all are gonna be amazing moms.
Yeah.
I always look at people way much deeper than the convo, and y'all have already, before y'all even like have stepped foot into motherhood, y'all are y'all's mindset is just so amazing, so much grace giving, and y'all are just for you to think about your friend's safety in that moment.
Exactly.
When that was happening,
Yeah.
just for you to know that certain things, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that some things are wrong.
Right.
Like, and y'all have very great mindsets. Not saying your life should revolve around being a mom, but
Right.
y'all have like definitely. If I had kids, I don't want kids. But if I did, and y'all babysitted them, y'all babysat.
You would trust us.
I would trust y'all. I would trust y'all.
The cool aunties.
The cool aunties.
They're still gonna tap that hand.
Yeah, they tap that hand if they get out of line.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, y'all have amazing mindsets.
Thank you.
I love the bond that we have built. So
Yes.
Y'all don't
And this
This
just the
fun.
beginning.
We like a little R&B group.
Yeah.
Yes. What's our name gonna
It's
be?
given.
What's up? We're
All right, let's go.
Well,
Take us out, Tierra.
Yes. Well, thanks, Jamaur and Jalen, for coming to be with us today. We had a really, really good conversation. And also thank you guys for watching this episode of the Easy on Me podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss any new episodes, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.